Hey guys, so ThorBolt sent over their MD1 and their M1 keyless entry doorknobs. So I'm going to show you here today how I got this installed, talk about it a bit, and tell you kind of all my favorite features of it. The difference between these is the MD1 has the fingerprint sensor on top, whereas the M1 just has this keypad on here. Either way, they work really great. They're very efficient. I do really like that fingerprint sensor on there, but it's also a little bit more economical if you go with the other version. So depending on your needs and what you truly want, you can make that decision. So one of the best reasons to get a keyless entry doorknob like this is because it's just great for ease of use, for being able to walk out of your home. I have a gym down the street that's part of our neighborhood, for example. We've got a pool there. If I want to go outside and run, basically I can just step outside. This will by default actually lock automatically after a few seconds. So I could walk outside, close my door. This is going to lock automatically. I can go do a run, go to the pool for a couple hours, whatever I want to do, run some errands. And when I come back, then I can either do my fingerprint or type in my code, depending on which model you have, and easily get back in without having to take a house key with you at all. So that is the biggest draw. It is super convenient. It may sound like something you may go, do I really need this? But honestly, after having this and having a fingerprint sensor, or even just having the code like that, it's something that I can't go back to a regular doorknob now. The other reason why I love this type of design and these models specifically is because this does not have Wi-Fi integration. That's another step where, some of them you'll see you can do stuff from your phone, lock it, unlock it, but that's kind of another failure point also in my opinion. That's not something I want to have. I don't want access to my house to be tied to Wi-Fi where someone could possibly gain access to that. So that's why I really love these models. They're electronic, they're convenient, but you basically still have to do your passcode and know that, or you have the fingerprint sensor, which is really accurate. I was able to easily set mine up. You essentially use your passcode and then a couple other numbers and buttons on here to put it into that mode. And you just lift and press your thumb up and down 6 times, and then it registers that fingerprint. So I did both of my thumbs, and then my wife did both of her thumbs, and we had that done in about 5 minutes, and we're all set to go now. What's really neat is you can also do that for guests and visitors. If you have someone who regularly house sits for you, you can have that done in a couple of minutes with them and have them have both of their fingerprints on here. You can also set up different codes as well. So if you want to set up a different passcode for other people, you can easily do that too. The other really cool feature is this has the anti-peeping passcode technology where you can use a few numbers on either end of your passcode. If someone's even looking over your shoulder, that way they can't really discern your passcode very easily. So you can throw in some fake numbers before and after, and that way it kind of makes it a little bit more discreet and keeps that private. As I mentioned, this does automatically lock. That's how it's set up out of the box. So if you would rather have it not automatically lock, you can also set that up by a code that's in the manual too. So if we're having people over, I set this up on the back side of my house here. So say we're having a fire, we're having maybe a cookout and a bunch of people are going to be over. We want them to be able to easily get in and out without having to lock this and unlock this over and over again. You can set it up to kind of that pass-through mode where people can easily do that. And then when they're gone, you can always set that back up to set it to automatically lock if you'd want. Setting this up was very simple though in the installation. I had this installed in about 15 minutes probably. If you're someone who's not real familiar with this process, maybe it'll take you slightly longer than that, but all I had to do was take out the screws on my old doorknob, pull that apart. You take off the screws on the side that kind of faces the door where it closes, and you pretty much reverse that process. You put in kind of that side piece and screw that in. They give you all of the hardware you need. Everything with this is fully included. For taking this apart when you first get it, to do that, there's 2 screws that kind of hold it together. But there's first a little hidden screw on the bottom of the inside piece. So you unscrew that. That allows you to pull off the kind of inside faceplate part of the doorknob. And then that's where your battery compartment is. That's where you'll gain access to the 2 screws to take this apart. So it's very easy to do that. It says it great on the manual. Gives you good directions, as well as, like I said, all those other directions as far as setup and changing your passcode, adding fingerprints, all that kind of stuff. If you do ever need to get access to this, say you forget that this is running out of power, you don't notice that, there is a Type-C on the bottom of this where you can hook up a power bank or hook it up to an outlet or something like that to give it temporary power to be able to get back inside. There's also 2 emergency keys that they give you. So those are manual keys that will allow you to get into this. So you really have complete peace of mind with this if anything does ever go wrong. So I'm super happy with these. Like I said, there's 2 different options. There's the fingerprint and keypad option, or just that keypad option. I'm gonna put a link in the comments and description so you can check those out and pick up whichever one you prefer. I've been really happy with how these have worked out so far. And I think once you go from a regular doorknob to something like this, you really can't go back. Please like the video if you found this helpful. Subscribe, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.